Hello. So today I wanted to talk about something called the beer and pizza diet. And it might not be exactly what you're thinking, but why I wanted to share this is I originally came across this idea and this story from Dr. Chris Kresser. I think it was an email he sent about this story, and it really stuck with me. And I wanted to share it today to see if it might be something that resonates with you as well. So, the story is about a 25-year-old boy who is, boy, guy, man, whatever you are when you're 25, is going to see a practitioner, a doctor. And he is dealing with symptoms of depression, digestive issues, pain, chronic fatigue, autoimmune issues, acne, skin issues, just a whole host of things, and has tried a number of different things. And as he's going to see this doctor, each visit, he has a recommendation to cut out grains, maybe to move towards a more paleo diet. Maybe at one point it's even to adopt a stricter autoimmune paleo, AIP diet, give up gluten and dairy, give up sugar. And each time he goes to visit the doctor, his health is still declining and he's not feeling any better. And he continues to avoid, restrict different foods and even activities as well. So he gets to the place where he's really eating only about 5 things. He's eating ground turkey, sweet potatoes, some kale, and maybe a piece of fruit like a banana. And everything else he's ended up having to restrict. And as he's going along, he's noticing that his health keeps declining and he feels worse and worse and worse, and feels like these protocols that he's implementing just aren't working for him. Like he has to keep going to find the right thing that's going to support him. And maybe a month goes by and he comes back to his practitioner, this doctor, and he almost bounces into the room. He's got tons of energy. He's more lit up. He seems more vibrant. He's not as depressed, not as worried and closed in. And the doctor starts to talk to him and says, "Oh my gosh, so implementing all of these things must have really helped you." And the young man says, "No, actually, I went on the beer and pizza diet. And what I did was I felt so bad with all of my symptoms that I literally felt like I was dying. I thought this was it. My health was declining so much. I felt like I was dying. And I decided if I was dying, then it didn't really matter what I ate. So I committed to going out with friends for 2 nights a week and eating pizza and drinking beer." And I committed to doing that. And as he did that, as he loosened up the reins, as he incorporated different foods into his diet, as he enjoyed social interaction and got to connect with people and friends and not feel so isolated, as he let go of some of the stress he was holding on to about being perfect, he noticed his health really improving. And this is what he referred to as the beer and pizza diet. So, why this story struck me so much and why I am talking about it today is not to say that everyone should go on a beer and pizza diet, but the sentiment behind it is really taking stock and inventory and seeing where you're at with some of your health issues and symptoms. And if you've gotten yourself into a place where you are so restricted, so limited, so fearful, so stressed about being perfect and executing the perfect diet or living in the most healthful way, that it's really started to take over your life. Because really, this stress and this pressure can be its own trigger for symptoms and can really put a big burden on the body. And honestly, I've been working with clients for the last 4 years, coaching people with chronic autoimmune issues on all different places of life, different spectrums where they're at with symptoms. And I see more and more people finding themselves in this place where they've not felt great and they've begun to restrict more and more and more. Will they end up with about 5 foods or 10 and also feel really fearful around food? Food no longer becomes something that is nourishing, but it becomes something that has the potential to harm and to make your body and your symptoms feel worse. And that in and of itself is a ton of stress and a ton of pressure, because food is never going away. We're always going to have to eat and figure out what to eat as long as we are alive in these human bodies. And with our best intentions of just wanting to be healthy, sometimes it can take us to places that really don't feel good and really don't serve us either. So checking in and seeing, where are you at? Where are you at with this? And sometimes we do need to be restricted if we're doing an elimination diet or some kind of healing protocol, but noting that it should always be temporary. And I'm a certified autoimmune paleo coach, and I've done all of the healing diets myself personally, but it really is just one tool in the toolkit. And what I see a lot is people really taking that tool and applying it to their lives and remaining in that place for a really long time. And what we want to do, as opposed to restricting more and more and more, is troubleshooting underlying root cause issues like stress, like sleep, like underlying infections, other things that are contributing to how your body's feeling. So I just wanted to share this story to see if it resonated with anyone where you're at, and if there's a little bit more of that beer and pizza mentality that we can bring back to our lives, because sometimes we lose a little bit of joy when we are trying to stick to really regimented diets. And like I said, sometimes for a period of time, that's what we need. But really knowing that the goal is always to eat as many foods as possible that make you feel as good as possible, and really feel joy around food and around our life. And if that means that you're resigning yourself to a life of never eating out at a restaurant again, or not enjoying time with friends, or really feeling like you have to just sit at home and be by yourself in order to be truly healthy, that's not necessarily the case. I mean, it's definitely not the case. It's definitely not the case. And that's what I really want to tell you, is that it doesn't need to feel so restrictive. You don't need to just sit at home and eat kale and boiled chicken to be healthy. There is so much more to health. And it really involves community, our interactions with humans, the joy that we have on a daily basis, the joy that we get from food, and our ability to manage our stress response. So let me know your thoughts about the beer and pizza diet. And they have really good gluten-free beer these days, actually, that I have tried. So there might be something to that as well. And if you feel like you are in that place of restriction and you've gotten yourself into a place where it doesn't feel good and you feel stuck, like the patient that I was speaking about earlier, reach out. Let me know, because this is what I can help with. And the goal is really to bring you out of this place of fear, of stress, of overwhelm, and to bring you to a place that feels more sustainable and joyful and manageable while you're still supporting your body and your health. So it is possible to do both. And that's really one of the main missions I'm here to share with people, is that it is possible to do both. And we don't need to get ourselves stuck in this prison of restriction and think that this is all there is, right? We can really shift into something that's going to work for us and feel a lot better for us. So if you need help with that, I am more than happy to help. You can comment here and send me an email at info@christinatidball.com, or book in a free discovery session at my website. I'm happy to chat more about where you're at and what kind of support you need. But most importantly, let me know your thoughts on the beer and pizza diet. I would love to know. Thanks.